Hello guys, how you doing today? I hope you guys had a great week. And my week was okay. I was traveling. I'm currently in Cartagena, I mean Cartagena, Colombia. When I was at the airport, when I was going to customs, I didn't know how to pronounce the city. I was saying Cartagena. I kept saying Cartagena because when you go to custom, they ask you where you going and how long you gonna be here. So I kept saying Cartagena. The Colombian immigration officer kept looking at me like, "What are you talking about?" So I'm learning Spanish. Like if you guys look at my previous videos, I had to learn Spanish for the ministry. So my ministry is to spread the gospel and to help women that's in prostitution. But I have to learn the language because I'm gonna be mostly working in Spanish speaking countries. So I know some Spanish, but I'm not very fluent in Spanish. But I could get by. So I'm able to function. So I kept saying Cartagena, and the Colombian immigration officer kept looking at me. And then I finally said Cartagena. And then he said, okay, then he let me go through. But, he just trying to find out anytime you go to a different country, they want to know your telephone number, your address, and how long you're going to be there. So I told him I was going to be there for 30 days, and then he stamped my passport for 30 days. I left Ecuador. I was in Ecuador I was there about a month, over a month, like 35 days. And the reason I left Ecuador is because I couldn't get anything done there. I didn't see how my ministry was gonna, work in Ecuador because I didn't see a lot of women in the street. So I couldn't minister to them. I couldn't try to help them out. So and the guy that I was talking to in Ecuador, he was trying to do his own thing. I guess he felt like I came to help him in his ministry. He's a pastor. He has his own church. I didn't see my job. I already have my own ministry. My ministry is to help women in prostitution. So I need people that's gonna help me do that. So I guess he was kind of confused. He wanted to do his own thing, so we part ways. So that's my main focus right now. It's this ministry. Is to help as many women as I can. So in Cartagena, I'm gonna try to. I'll be putting up some videos for you guys to see, and I'll be, showing you guys what I'm doing around. I'm trying to help these women out, and if you guys want to help out, and you can. So it's up to you. But so I just got here recently. I've been here only 2 days, and so I'm just trying to learn the city, see what's going on, and then trying to figure it out how am I going to be useful in my ministry. But I know the biggest news of the week is the assassination of the Haitian president. I was born in Haiti. I left Haiti when I was 10 years old, and I live in the United States for 31 years. So I moved out of the United States this year, and I don't have any intention of moving back of ever living in the United States because that's up to the Lord. But I don't think I would ever live in the United States again. And just to be frank, to be honest with you guys, I just don't like it. You know, I never really liked the United States. I lived there, and I just never really, I lived there, and you know, when I was in my early 20s, I've been trying to find a way to get out. I just didn't have enough financial resources in order to make that move. And you know, you have 7 million American expat that's living overseas. So the United States is a decent country, but it's not everything that it's that they brag that they say it is. It's not everything that what it seems. It's not all. There's a lot of hype. You know about the United States. It's kind of like if you see a pretty girl that everybody wants to date, and then you find out the type of person she really is, you're like, well, she's not everything that they hyper up to be. It's not everything about just kind of like that's how the United States. That's how I feel about the United States. I never felt it was that great. You know how they put it out to be like it's all that. It's really not. And if it was that great, you only have 7 million people living overseas, 7 million Americans living overseas. So it's all right. Just like any other country, they have their own problems. They have their own issues. So I wanted to talk about the Haitian president that was assassinated. So the thing about Haiti, the political structure is very chaotic. The way it is, it's kind of like a zero sum game. So if you, for example, if like a center right party becomes, they come to power, it's kind of like they don't even want to work with the opposition, and then that's how it is. Vice versa. So they don't want to work with each other at all. It's kind of like right now with the Democrats and the Republicans. You know, that's how it is in Haiti, but it's even worse because the United States is a first world country, so they could still function. So in Haiti, it's always been like that. Haiti is a new democracy. We had a dictator for a while, and then we start we just started experimenting with democracy. So we don't know a lot of things about it. So we're just trying to learn. The United States been a democratic country for a long time. So even if the United States have their own problem, but the United States is the ideal country that you want to follow if you want to have a democratic country. So in Haiti, we're still trying to get it together. You know, it's been about I say about 35 years since Haiti started trying to have a democratic um, institution, trying to have a democratic type of government because they had a dictator, baby Papa Doc, Baby Doc, and he left the country like 1986. He got rent out, and then we had an election. We had Aristide. Aristide was elected, and then he was ousted in a coup that was engineered by the CIA and the U.S. government. He was overthrown, and then he came back into power again, 2004, and the CIA again orchestrated and engineered another coup and got rid of Aristide. So every time we're trying to have a democratic institution in place, if the foreign powers do not agree with the kind of leadership that we have, they do whatever it takes to get rid of them. Haiti's not the only country. The CIA have overthrown a lot of presidents in different countries, Guatemala, Honduras. They're trying to do it in Venezuela. As a matter of fact, they did it in Venezuela the first time with overthrowing Chavez. And then so the United States have a history of trying to overthrow third world countries' president if they don't agree with who if they have a difference with the leadership. So they are known for doing that. The United States been doing that for a long time. So with Haiti, the president of Haiti was elected, and so there was a lot of people said, well, there was he cheated, there was fraud, he got elected, and so he was not the rightful, he should not be president, and then they started protesting against him, and then in 2016 they had a president. He was just there like a transition for like a year, and then Jovenel Moise got elected in 2017, and he was supposed to serve for 5 years. So the thing about Haiti, because Haiti is a poor country, so the institution is kind of weak. There's a lot of corruption. Haiti is a very corrupt country, and so when the last president was in power, Michel Martelly, and he was just a very corrupt president. He stole a lot of the money, and then he lives in Miami, and he took a lot of the money from the state coffers, and then gave it out to his cronies, and also to people in the senators, the parliament. So there's a lot of problems. Haiti's not the only corrupt country. Most of Latin America, there's a lot of corruption. But Haiti's corruption is endemic. It's affect every um, area, every institution. You know, from the customs to the police force to the senators, house, the representative, and the president. And the problem with Haiti too, they have all oligarchy. Isn't Haiti's more like an oligarchy? Like a oligarch, kind of like Russia. It's more like like I said, it's an oligarchy than a democracy. Because in Russia, you have you know just those that just control the oligarch that control a lot of the major industries. Like um, oil and gas. So that's the same thing with Haiti. We have people that control the major industries. It's just a few families that control a lot of the major industries like the gas and also some of the import of food. So they control and they have all the wealth. So what President Jovenel Moise was trying to do, and then so they not only they control a lot of the import and export, they control the gas and also the electricity. So what President Jovenel was trying to do was trying to demonopolize that. You know, he felt like it was wrong for some just a few powerful oligarchs to control the economy. So that's what ultimately led to his assassination because he was trying to put an end to that. You know, and look, anybody who's in politics, I don't care if they live in Haiti, I don't care if they live in the United States, they are not they don't have clean hands. The United States, a lot, the politicians, the senators, the presidents, they do not have clean hands. If you're gonna vote, for example, let me give you a perfect example. In 2003, if you voted for war in Iraq and then they go to war, a lot of people lost their life. You have blood in your hands because Iraq was not a threat to the United States. You know, Saddam Hussein was not a threat to the United States. So you voted for that war, and people go to war, and people died. The children who died, the grandparents who died, everybody who died, you have blood in your hand because you supported that war, you voted for that. So God is gonna hold you accountable for that. So whatever you do, you will have to answer to God. As soon as you take your last breath, you will be judged and condemned if you live a life of sin or and evil and selfishness. You already condemned. So with President Jovenel, like I said, he's kind of there's corruption. He did some corrupt things, and he did things that was not right. Like I said, if you get involved in any type of politics, you're gonna have there are certain things that you're gonna do to compromise. That's the reason why somebody who loves Jesus, who's a true Christian, try not to get involved in politics because politics is dirty. You will dirty your hand. It's kind of like playing in the mud, playing like in a pigsty or in the sewer, playing with poop. That's why I call politics. You're just playing with poop. It's dirty. It's nasty. It's filthy. That's what politics is. You're not gonna change people. You're not gonna change people. Only God can. So President Jovenel, he trying to, you know, provide electricity for the masses. He said, and he said he's going to provide electricity in 2 years, like 24 hours, because we have electricity in Haiti, but it's sporadic. It's sporadic. So, but he wanted to provide constant electricity, and so he was working on that, and he was building dams in the countryside. So he was doing a lot of good works. But what happened is, since he was a reformer, so that was the problem. So he was interfering with the interests of the oligarch, those who control the electricity. So he was interfering with their self interest, you know, because he ended a lot of the contracts. He ended a lot of the contracts because a lot of those contracts was in corruption, you know. P- People making millions of dollars, and then you go to Haiti, and it's 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. There's no electricity, you know. In Port-au-Prince, and Port-au-Prince is the capital. So that's the problem. That's why he was trying to do that. He was trying to change that, and he was getting a lot of support. So the opposition was paying people to protest and to break, destroy stuff and burn people's business down because they didn't want him to provide electricity for people 24/7 because he ended their contract. A lot of this contract was in corruption, you know. So he was one of the few people that was really trying to change the country, and that's what led to his assassination. Because the thing is, when you run in Haiti, when you run for president, you have to get money. Like any country you run for president, you need money, you need resources. Those elite, those oligarchs, they provide money to President Jovenel. But then President Jovenel, they told President Jovenel that he had to resign because there was a lot of protests. And President Jovenel was upset about that. He said, "Who are you to tell me to resign? I'm the president." And then so he started going after the oligarch. He's trying going after them, getting them. One of them left the country, and the other one was he just left recently. Like two of them left the country because they was under investigation for corruption. One of them was I don't want to mention their name because it's it's not important to me. Um, so one of them, left the country because he was collecting a lot of millions of dollars and people was living. There was no electricity. He was supposed to provide electricity to the masses while collecting millions of dollars, pocketing them, and nothing was getting done. The second guy was borrowing money from the social security system they have in Haiti called ONA, not providing the service, just borrowing the money, just a lot of corruption, getting contracts, that he was not supposed to get from the state. A lot of corruption. So while the people living in misery, living in poverty, and the thing is, in Haiti, if you wanna, the way to get people fired up, to get people protest, and to go out there, burn down people's business and do all this kind of mess, is just to give them money, because a lot of them are destitute. So if you give them some money, they're gonna start breaking down people's business and start burning things, trying to create a chaos for the president, so he will not be able to govern. That happens all the time, you know. So as soon as he became president, like 6 months later, they started protesting, started doing stuff like that, and he was only president for 6 months. So that's the thing. In Haiti, we have very few people that put the country ahead of themselves. It's always about them. They always come first. They never put the country first. Very few people do that. And Jovenel was no saint. He did things that was not right. And for example, like we had a massacre that happened in one of the poorest part of Haiti, and those people that committed the massacre, they were aligned with the president's administration, and nobody went to prison. You have a gang leader in Haiti. He caused a lot of the multiple massacres against his opposition, but nobody went to prison for that. Nobody got arrested. As a matter of fact, the Haitian police was giving food and stuff like that to this neighborhood in Haiti, and he started helping them out. He started giving food and stuff like that, telling the Haitian police who to give food and stuff too. And that guy was involved in a massacre, in multiple massacres against President Jovenel um, enemies, against the opposition. And last night I was reading the report, the United Nations report, and also the report on the La Saline massacre. And it came from the United Nations. It came from the United Nations and it came from other sources that the first lady of Haiti, Martin Moise, she's in the hospital right now. I mean, she's gonna pull through. You know, thanks God for that. But she met with the opposition. She trying to talk them into not allowing the protests to go through their neighborhood. And then they refuse. She trying to bribe them, telling them that she's gonna build a hospital, and she's gonna build a hospital for them, and she's gonna provide all this stuff for them, so not to allow the protests to go to their neighborhood. And they refused to do that. They allowed the protests to go to their neighborhood, and there was a lot of protests that going on. And next thing you know, a few days later, that's when the massacre starts. They said about close to 100 people died or something like that, and it was multiple massacres. And so there was two high level guys. There was two high level personnel and President Moise administration that helped orchestrate the massacre. They provide guns, cars, and provide all the equipment and police uniform to the gang leader. There was police that was involved in the massacre too. Police was involved, and gangs that's aligned with the president was involved in that massacre. So it's impossible to tell me that the president did not know about that. The president knew about it. Not only he knew about it, his wife was implicated in that massacre. She actually met um, his wife and like three other senior staff actually met with the people before the massacre. So he knew very well there was going to be a massacre. The president knew about it, you know, and what the main reason why when I read the report, I read it last night multiple times, and I realized that the president they knew about it because, like, I think maybe like a few weeks later or something like that, they was giving money to, they was giving food in the neighborhood, and the gang leader was helping them out. So he was helping out the police. So that's how it was. He was part of the massacre. The president, he was aligned with the president, a gang leader. So that's the thing about Haiti. It's like they all want to be in charge. They all want to be in power, and they just screw up. We have a lot of screw up, just evil people. Um, that just out for their own interests. You know, and I think Aristide could have been a great president, but they didn't give him a chance to become president. They he got overthrown. You know, so that's the thing. We have a lot of people that's not out for the interests of the Haitian people. They are out for their own interests. You know, we have, like I said, the last president. He bought a house for $9 million. Where did you get that $9 million from? That's the kind of endemic corruption that we have. And the thing is, I mean, that's fine. You know, Like Jesus said, you can. What does it profit a man to gain this world but to lose your soul? Money doesn't last very long. I'm not. There's nothing in this world that's gonna. I'm not gonna sell my soul for nothing in this world. Not for money, not for women, not for power. Those things does not last at all. I want what's eternal. I want what's eternal. You know. So we have to pray for everybody that was a victim. We have to pray for those who were massacred that never got justice. Haiti is a country that you're not gonna get justice. There's not gonna be any justice. Haiti is a country that we had a cholera happen. The United Nations went down there with the cholera. We never had cholera in Haiti. We never had cholera in Haiti. So, the Nepalese troops and the Indian troops went down to Haiti and infect the population and spread the cholera. A lot of people died. I don't think the United Nations ever compensated the Haitian people for that, the Haitian victim. So it's one bad thing after the other. A lot of we just been very unfortunate. We just a lot of unfortunate things happen to Haiti. A lot of unfortunate things. You know, and so that's the number one thing. So you had all these people, that pass away from that cholera, and the United Nations never compensate the people for that. You know, so the rich and the powerful could do whatever they want. You know, they don't have to answer to anyone. Well, they don't have to answer to anyone in this world, but they will once they transition, they will answer to somebody. They will answer to the Lord. You will answer. You know, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys who follow me, who who watch my videos. Everything that you do in this life has a far-reaching consequences. Okay, sin has a far-reaching consequences. You may die. You know, once you die, you're gonna be judged. But the sin that you commit, unless you repent, it could be passed down to your kids. Okay? God is a holy God. He's a righteous God. He does not tolerate sin or evil. So we just have to pray for Haiti, that the Lord will deliver Haiti, will set us free, and will bless Haiti, spiritually and financially, you know? And the thing is to all of you guys who's watching, just remember one thing. What I want to read to you guys. Usually I should have read that to you guys at the beginning, but I want to read to you guys what it says in Matthew 25, verse 31. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then he will sit on the throne of his glory. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them from one another, as a shepherd divides his sheep from the goats. And he will set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then the king will say to those on his right hand, "Come, you blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom, prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me." Then the righteous will answer him, saying, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? When did we see you a stranger and take you in, or naked and clothe you in, and naked and clothe you? Or when did we see you sick or in prison and come to you?" And the king will answer and say to them, "Surely I say to you, inasmuch as you did to one of the least of these brethren, you did it for me." Okay? There's no one in the face of this world that talks like that. That's God talking. Okay? There's not, okay. The other religion, you're never gonna hear that from Muhammad. You're never gonna hear that from Buddha. You're never gonna hear that from no God whatsoever. This is the God Almighty, the creator of all things, Jesus Christ. That's how you expect God to talk. He said, "What you do for the least of these, you did it for me." Okay, you guys see haters going through a hard time. Do not judge them. Do not be like those haters on social media. Do not be like the racist media depiction of the country. Do not buy into that. Okay, do not judge them in your heart. Do not do that. Okay, when you do that, that's a curse on you. Okay, if you want God's blessing, you do what I just told you in Matthew 25. If you could help a Haitian person, or somebody, not just a Haitian person, just anybody that's going through a hard time, you helping God. You helping Jesus Christ. That's God talking right here. If you cannot help them financially or give them food or whatever, go see them in prison, you pray for them. I pray for other people more than I pray for myself. You get down on your knees, you pray for them. You do not judge them. Okay? Do not think you're better than them. Because you never know what's gonna happen in the future. Okay? Things could flip. Okay? So never judge somebody that's going through a hard time. Show them grace, show them mercy, show them compassion. Do what the Bible says in Matthew 25. If you could feed them, feed them. If you could go see them in prison, go see them in prison. If you could give them clothes, do that. Never judge them. God is offended by that. Okay, He's hurt. The Lord is hurt. The Lord get hurts when we do that. Okay, He's very offended by it. So that's why when we see somebody in the street, we don't judge them. We don't say, oh, I wake up every morning and go to work. I take care of myself. How come they cannot do the same thing? Okay, just remember those words that came out of your mouth. Just remember that. I hear that from Americans all the time. They see somebody struggling. Oh, I wake up every morning. I work 10 years. I take care of myself. If I could do it, they could do it too. Oh, that person is lazy, or that person, you don't even know the person. You don't even know that person. You just see them in the street. You start judging them just because they're asking you for money. You will answer to Christ for that. You don't know people like that. The person probably has some kind of mental health problems. Okay, you have no compassion in your heart. Your heart is wicked. Your heart is cold. You show no compassion for no one. Okay, the same way you judge somebody else, you condemn them. That's the same way God's gonna condemn you. Okay, so like Jesus said, "What you do for the least of these, you did it for me." Okay, show grace, show mercy, show compassion. Stop judging. Get down on your knees and pray for those who are suffering. Okay, the way the media depict Haiti is very unfortunate, and there's a lot of racism in it too. You know, and that's the kind of satanic world that we live in. We live in a very evil world. Not all the media depict Haiti in a negative way. Some of them are transparent, some of them are fair, like PBS, NPR, those kind of non-profit um, press. But you got ABC News, you got especially ABC News. I never liked that station. I think they trash. I think ABC's trash because the New York Times is trash too. Let me tell you about the New York Times. The New York Times run an article about the low COVID rates in Japan. How the Japanese able to keep the COVID rate infection down. That's the New York Times we're talking about, right? They never run an article about how Haiti have such a low COVID um, infection, COVID-19 infection. About how we have so low death in Haiti. Not just in Haiti, a lot of the African countries, right? Senegal, Tanzania, a lot of this African country in Haiti, they have a very low infection rate and very low death. Very few people died. That's not going to make the New York Times, right? Because it's not their narrative. The New York Times wants to, their depiction of this country is poor, is chaos, is civil war. Those newspapers comes from Satan. They do not belong to Christ. Anybody who portray a group of people, always in the negative light, you never show anything positive, you belong to Satan. You belong to your father, Satan. You do not belong to Christ. You know? Because those that belong to Jesus will show more compassion. They're not only going to show the negative thing that's going on in Haiti, they're going to say, wow, how come the Haitian managed to have such a low death rate? Very few people Haitian got infected with the COVID-19, and Haiti's a poor country. That COVID-19, that coronavirus should have just run wild. A lot of people should have died because Haiti does not have the infrastructure, does not have the hospital to, a lot of people should have died. What happened? You know, how did the Haitian manage to keep everything together and not so many people died when 500,000, a million people died in America? I said 500,000. It came out from the University of Washington. It was over a million people, about a million people died in America. Germany, Italy, France, Brazil, all this country are richer than Haiti, but Haiti and the African country lost more people, and more people less. They lost less people. Less people died in Haiti. Less people died in the African countries from the coronavirus. Less people died. And those countries, Brazil, the United States, Italy, France, even the DR, all these countries had more death and infection in Haiti and some of the African countries. But no, they're not going to get any credit. No, no, no. We don't give them credit when they do good things. We give them credit when there's civil war, when there is civil unrest, when there is food shortage. ABC News is one of the worst news stations in this country. It's not even a news. That's the only thing I agree with Donald Trump on. The media is fake and it's trash. I agree with Trump on that. You know, they love negativity. You know, for ratings. They sell the soul to Satan for ratings. It makes them feel good to show people in a negative way, to show people suffering, to show people going to, in poverty. People cannot eat. They love that. They love all that negativity. That's why they want to feed you. You know, because the Bible says Satan is the god of this world. He's the god of the air. He controls all these things. You know, they're never going to show you the positive things that's going on in Haiti. They're never going to show you how President Jovenel was building dams. He was providing electricity, building solar panels. He was doing all these great things for the country. The only thing they want to talk about is the assassination. The only thing they want to talk about is the oil, I guess, gas shortage, right? Just like they said with the gas shortage in you know, yeah, they just want to talk about the gas shortage. They want to talk about all these things, but they didn't want to talk about how after the president got assassinated, the street was quiet. Port-au-Prince was quiet. Port-au-Prince has been quiet for a few since Wednesday. Since after the Haitian president got assassinated, there hasn't been any protests. Everybody just go about their business. The media does not want to portray, or does not want to depict that, does not want to show that. They just want to show chaos. They're talking about Haiti's in turmoil. How's Haiti in turmoil when the president passed away? The Haitian police force only arrest most of them. They kill like three of them, and then they only now after five they got, I think it was 28. Three got killed. They got 20. They only after five. But no, we don't get credit for that, right? What they love to do is negativity, right? because the Haitian people, as much as a lot of the party didn't like Jovenel, they didn't want him shot dead. Most Haitian people are not violent. We are not violent people. That's not our nature. We are not Europeans. We are not Americans. We are not violent people. Haitian people are not violent people. Okay? We are not Americans and we are not Europeans. We don't go around raping and killing people and taking over their land and overthrowing their government. We do not do that. That's the European. That's what they do. They go on raping, enslaving people, pillage neighborhoods, and turn women into prostitutions, and like in the Philippines and Vietnam. We don't do stuff like that. We are decent people. We care about people. Okay? You know what I'm saying? The Haitian, the Hispanics, I call like decent people. They are warm and friendly. They don't go around raping other people and taking their land and overthrowing the government. We leave that to the United States and in France and Germany, the Europeans. That's what you guys do. You guys are very good at doing that. You guys specialize in doing that. You know, discriminating against people and having Jim Crows and hanging people from a tree. That's an American thing. That's a European thing. Okay, you guys do that. We're not violent people. Haitian people are not violent people. We are not violent. We are not like you. Okay. Anytime there's any type of civil unrest in Haiti, it's two political groups. 90% of Haitians could care less about politics. Okay. So you guys, you should be ashamed of yourself the way you depict other the third world country. Those days are over. I'm gonna call you guys out. Okay. I'm gonna call you guys out because what you guys doing is satanic, is evil, and I'm gonna call you out. I don't play around with that. Okay? Alright guys. Thanks for listening to.